Despite Donald Trump claiming victory against Iran twice, essentially saying that the war is over, they have won, they are winding down, he is now increasing his threats against Iran, which of course will lead to a border conflict, a longer conflict. And so anytime Donald Trump has made the claim that everything is going perfectly and they are winding down, because it's just gonna so well, it's obviously a lie. I mean, every word that comes out of his guy mouth about this war has been a lie and he is proving it in real time himself. So I want to talk about the threat he put out on social media last night. Iran's response that they have already issued to Donald Trump. Before we do any of that through, please make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I want to start with this clip because it really is just a perfect representation of Donald Trump's strategy in this war. He was asked yesterday, what's the plan? Boots on the ground. No boots on the ground. What do you? What do you see happening with this war? Where is it going? And this is the what Donald Trump said. This was his answer.
And that's what we've got.
Mr. President, how will the operation?
Well, I may have a plan or I may not, but how would I ever say that to a reporter? If I said that to a reporter, Marco would say, please, sir, let's bring you over to the helicopter immediately. Right? No, I can't tell you that. Certainly.
Great. First of all, first and foremost, look at the Marco Rubino face. Does that look like a confident man? I don't think so. I think that's a little bit of panic on his face, a little bit of disgust. But Donald Trump has asked, what's the plan? What's going on? Where do you see this going? And he says, I might have a plan or maybe I don't. Which is always a wonderful to hear from a guy who got us into this war and is actively making more threats about expanding this war. And that brings us to what he said yesterday. Somewhat later in the evening, 7:44 p.m., he said, if Iran does not fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz, within 48 hours from the exact point of time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So Donald Trump doing a complete 180, he's changed his position to the Strait of Hormuz so much in public. He went from saying, oh, I did it so easy to open, to saying, oh, it's Europe's responsibility to open it, to saying, oh, we will help Europe open it. It's going to be us doing it and we don't need their help. And now he's saying he's back if Iran does not open it within the next 48 hours. We are just going to bomb them. We are going to bomb their various power plants, starting with the biggest one. And again, I really just think this is a perfect clip when Donald Trump says, I have no plan. You are watching it happen in real time. It sounds like this is something that like Peter Haggis just told him in conversation like, hey, you should threaten to bomb Iran if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz. And he just went within on social media and just let it fly. And now that's the policy that the Trump administration is going with. And I like this analysis from Phil Mardeling. He's one of my favorite journalists at CNN. He broke down the Donald Trump strait and he said Trump strait is a pretty important window in the current US position if you take as a step back. If you are considering winding down the war, as Trump said, this AM, hitting energy infrastructure would have the exact opposite effect. But you can't wind down the war without the strait respond despite Trump's connection to the contrary. So you threaten to do things you have potentially avoid precisely because one, the retaliation would make the energy shock much worse while directly targeting the most valuable constituents of the GCC economic success. Do you want the Iranian energy infrastructure left in good shape for your strategic goal of post-conflict Iran? Never threatening energy supplies again, the latter of which still feels pretty well appreciational to be generous about it, and the moment given to the fact wakes long closer to the strait and the strikes on GCC in general and especially energy infrastructure last week. All of this means desperate regardless of the way it's going. If Donald Trump goes forward with this strait, if he does not. If he does not, this means that prices are going to go up even more. I hope people are aware about that. I am more speaking to the Republicans because they voted Donald Trump thinking that he is going to be the lower gas price and inflation be so low. And they are getting the exact opposite of that, which we all warn about them. And now Trump threats puts a 48 hours timeline deadline on the table, which Trump and his teams have intentionally avoided boxing themselves in on from the start. On the one of the thing Iran has clearly asked a mastery advantage on for leverage, which they have made a clear they know, understand, and they have no intention of letting go for nothing. Maybe the deadline sparks something real, diplomatical, or is Deco with claims of something conscious or Iran capitulations, or maybe it's a red line that is followed through on. No idea, but the truth post is a good snapshot of the complexity of the moment for the White House. And I think he's absolutely right. The Trump administration has boxed themselves in now, and apparently, and they have been trying to avoid that situation this entire time. Trump has, maintained that he has it took under control. He never had it under control, but it maintained that. And now they really have boxed themselves in. And as I said, I think gas price is just going to go up more and more, especially when you factor in that Iran is threatening retaliation if Donald Trump moves forward with this. The spokesman for the Qatam al-Anbaniya Central Headquarters, the Unified Combatant Command Headquarters of the Iranian Armed Force, had started following tonight's 48-hour ultimatum by the Donald Trump that if the United States attacks fuel or energy infrastructure in Iran, then they will attack US or allied energy information technology and distillation infrastructure across the Middle East, which will be a complete disaster for the US. I don't think that Donald Trump understands that Iran has not hit all the possible targets they go so far after. I mean, there have been some things they just haven't targeted yet, such as things in the list we just read. And if that happens, it gets even more worse. I am talking like double the amount of the pain that people have already suffered. It will be much worse than that. I don't know if Trump realized that. I think he thinks that the United States can just do everything and anything anytime we want to, which may be in the past conflicts, but no longer. War has evolved. We are now in drone war, where we are spending millions of dollars to shoot down a drone that costs 5, 10, 15, $20,000. The economic of it just does not make sense. It's not sustainable whatsoever, and I truly just don't think that Donald Trump understands that, even in the slightest. And so if Iran goes forward with this, and if we go forward with attacking their energy infrastructure, if Iran goes forward with their attacks, everything just gets worse. And the idea that this war ends in a week, 2 week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, it's a dream at point. This is being incredibly gorgeous. It seems like the conflicts will go on much longer, even everything that we are reading right now. And it's completely contradictory to what Donald Trump said yesterday. As Philly Mattingly pointed out, Trump said on Truth Social, we are getting very close meeting our objective as we considered winding down our great military efforts against the terrorist regime of the Iran. Does this sound like we are close to achieving our objectives? Does this sound like we are close to winding down our operation in Iran, threatening to with 48 hours target their energy infrastructure, bomb them even more? That to me does not sound like we are winding anything down. That sounds like a major escalation, and it sounds like Donald Trump is contradicting himself publicly once again. He just cannot settle on anything in this war. He changes his minds every single day, and we have had so much reporting going into this war that Trump really had no plan. He did not accept Iran would shut down the Strait of Hormuz. He did not anticipate anything like this, and now here we are 3 weeks into the war, and these are the kind of posts that Donald Trump is putting out. And on this topic of the things getting worse, the price going up, gas prices going up, and just the price of everything going up, markets going down. In addition to that, this is from the journalist Aaron Pernis, just got this text from the Republican who supports Donald Trump showing $81 worth of gas for 16 gallons, saying F this at the bottom. And we have heard similar sentiments from other Republicans. This is a man in Florida who voted for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris, saying that he kind of regrets his vote now and he wants Uncle Joe back. This is Joe Biden.
President Trump in the last election, he promised to bring down prices. What do you make of that campaign promise?
He did vote. He said he'd have gas under $3, and now it's right at $5. And I mean, honestly, it's something that he stole from somewhere. And now we're at what, $5 a gallon? He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
He said that the small increase in prices is for safety. I guess, one, do you feel more safe in this country right now? And two, is it worth the price of gas? Is that safety worth it?
A small increase on prices, it's over $1 more than what it was. It was almost at $2 and something cents. He was bragging the other day on news, 190 or 290 somewhere. It's $5.50 a gallon. We don't run off of hopes and dreams. And as far as being safe, this point in time, anybody can do anything. So as far as safety, he ain't doing nothing for my safety.
Is there anything else you want to say about the price of gas, about the cost of living, about the experience you're going through right now?
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast. But here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get his more money, and then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. Because, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of craziness going on, but it was a whole lot calmer than this.
You know, it drives me nuts when I hear things like this because, you know, he said, I think Kamala Harris or I think Donald Trump was a better choice than Kamala Harris. But he also misses Joe Biden, and it's like, how did you not setting this coming? Everybody was talking about this. Everybody warned about this reality. How did you not seeing this coming? We would not be in war with Iran if Kamala Harris were president right now. It's the truth anyway. It seems like the war is going to get much worse before it gets any better. Donald Trump is making sure of that with these tweets he is putting out basically daily at the point. He will start by saying the war is done. In the evening he will end with, and you know, we are going to nuke them. And it's just an ever-changing environment with Donald Trump. So I will leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we will talk.